In this video, we're going to talk about the law of cosines. So very, very similarly to the law of sines, these laws allow us to find missing sides and missing angles of oblique triangles or not right triangles. And so the law of sines we covered in another video. In fact, I have two videos up of them, one including the ambiguous case, which we have to be very careful about. But the law of cosines, to me, is probably the more, you can't say more efficient, but to me, I like it best because it eliminates the use of or the need to find the ambiguous case. So it helps us to solve these triangles without having to do necessarily too much more work. But admittedly, I have a lot of students that tell me that the formulas for the law of cosines are a lot more difficult. And the reason for that is there's a lot of different people who will list out 6 different formulas for each side, for B and C, and then the cosine of B and the cosine of C. And admittedly, I just think that that's kind of foolish. As long as we can really remember a very specific pattern, these formulas are very easy to remember. And so I wanted to give you that pattern right now. If I'm looking for a specific side, my formula is going to be the included sides. So whatever they give me, the included sides squared, adding them together, minus my included sides, and the cosine will be taking the angle that we're given. So the law of sines occurs for side, angle, side, and side, side, side. Well, for side, angle, side, when I'm investigating, trying to find that missing side, I'm using the 2 sides that were given to me in my formula. And so it's always the included sides added together, squared, minus 2 times the included sides, times the cosine of the angle that was given to me, and I take the square root of all of that. Similarly, whenever I'm given side, 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 it's always, again, the 2 sides that are included. And what that means is, let's say that I was actually looking for the cosine of A here. Well, B and C are my included sides. They physically touch angle A, and that's what I'm looking for. So if I was looking for angle C, my equation for the angle would be A squared plus B squared, because it's always the included side squared minus the opposite side, all over 2 times those included sides. So I'm going to kind of just utilize that mental processing when I'm doing these problems today. I apologize for such a long intro, but I hope that eventually you'll get to the point where you can memorize them, because memorizing just the fluidness of these formulas versus memorizing 6 formulas, I'm going to pick memorizing that pattern all day long. So let's look at example number 1. So they want us to solve the triangle. I have side, angle, side. So the very first thing that I need to look for is that side A. So again, it's whatever side I'm looking for, and I take the square root of my included sides. So I have 30 squared plus 14 squared minus 2 times 30 times 14 times the cosine of whatever my angle was. And I'm going to just plug that straight into my calculator. If you don't have a TI-84, if you can't afford one, there's tons of places you can get them used, or you can buy it brand new if you want to. They're about $100. I am in no way sponsored by Texas Instruments. I just prefer their brand because that's what I've used the most. For angle A, once I plug that in, I got round down to 21. And then from here, maybe I want to find angle C. And so I'm going to utilize, finding the cosine of C Well, I'm just going to take the included side squared minus the opposite side squared all over 2 times 14 times 21. So again, I'm going to, and notice, that's just giving me cosine of C. I need to take the inverse cosine of this whole thing to get my actual angle measure. Remember, it's the inverse cosine there. So that's what I'm going to type into the calculator here. So we're going to take our 2 sides squared, 2 included sides squared, minus that opposite side squared, divided by 2 times my 2 included sides, and we get 116 degrees. Finally, for angle B, all I have to do is take 180, subtract 116, minus 40, and we wind up with 24 degrees. So there's your law of cosines, utilizing it to find a side, utilizing it to find an angle. In my opinion, I prefer using law of cosines. It's just a little bit, it's just my preference. You could have done the law of sines here, but just be careful. Running into that ambiguous case can be problematic at times. Or sorry, not on this one, but when we were searching for that angle here or here, we could have used the law of sines. Last example, real quick. This one is for side, side, side. I want to find maybe angle A first. So again, I'd have the cosine of A. It's my included sides squared. So 13 squared plus 19 squared minus 27 squared, because it's always minus the opposite side, over 2 times my included sides again. So 19 and 13. I have to take the inverse cosine of all of that. So I'm plugging that into my calculator again. So I know I got kind of talking about the TI 84. There's lots of great tools out there that you can use. Depending on where you go to college or maybe where you go to high school or middle school, wherever you're seeing this, they may have you have your own. So just kind of be wary of that. For angle A, I am getting that we have 113. And we'll round it up to 114 degrees. And so now I need to find another side. Well, again, I'm going to just use the law of cosines here because that's what this video is about. So I'm going to take the law of cosines, included sides. So we have 13 squared plus 27 squared minus the opposite side squared all over 2 times my included sides. Take the inverse cosine of that, and we wind up getting, give me one quick second. So we have 13 squared plus 27 squared minus 19 squared all over 2 times 13 times 27, and we get 40 degrees. Now, to find that last missing angle, take 180, subtract 114, minus 40. We wind up with 26 degrees. So there you have it. There's the law of cosines. Again, it's my preferred way, but to each their own. Law of sines still works after you have found that first angle for these. So thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to check out the law of sines and the law of sines ambiguous videos in case you have questions on those. But otherwise, we'll see you next time.